What's up guys, back to another Honkai Star video. In this video we're going to go over the best characters to use on the new Pure Fiction. Now, a couple quick reminders. This Pure Fiction is all about follow-up attacks. The more powerful your follow-up attack, the more percent you're going to accumulate. Once you're at 100%, then you will deal massive damage to the enemies, right? So the stronger the follow-up attack is, the more it fills it up, and then big damage. Then both of the enemies are weak to ice and fire, and then, well, sorry, not both, but the first enemy is weak to ice, fire, and the second enemy is weak to electric and imaginary, so those characters are going to have a big bonus. Now, of course, you have to remember as well, Pure Fiction is AoE based, so you're going to also want AoE characters, right? So I have picked for this a DPS, support, sustain, kind of DPS and kind of support are for characters who can work, but you might have a bit of an issue with it. To get the groundwork laid out for DPS, a good DPS is going to be Himiko, because one, all AoEs, right? She has a blast skill, which is the E, and then she has follow-up attack. Like, she has the whole kit that's perfect for this, so she would be one of your main DPSs. A good support would be someone like Sparkle, right? She gives you skill points. She can boost the whole team. Pretty much good to go right there. She can, while most people run dual DPS on this, you can, get away with running one. She, of course, does action advance as well, which is pretty helpful in this, so she would be a good support. Sustain, I know a good sustain would be someone like Fuchuan, who has a damaging ult, because there is a skill that lets ults count as follow-up attacks, and while it's not going to do a lot of damage, it could help if you're just a little bit shy. Plus, she gives crit rate, and you pretty much don't have to worry about characters dying if you don't have them fully built. Then for kind of DPS, you're going to have characters like Jinglu, who just do a lot of damage and have a good elemental advantage against the enemy, but no follow-up attacks kind of hurt, and having to transform her so she does her big damage can kind of hurt you. And then for kind of support, you're gonna have characters like Bronya, who, while good supports, Bronya is going to hurt your skill points, and you could end up not having skill points after you boost a character, or not having a skill point to use her E at all. Plus, like Sparkle, her E is only one person, so it is a bit rough. She doesn't have the skill points to fall back on like Sparkle does. But let's start with your DPSs. So for the DPSs, you are going to want characters like Himiko, right? As mentioned. Argenti can cheese this because one of the bonuses, right, is, let me open up Star Wars again real quick, is when ultimate deal damage to the enemy, it'll be considered a follow-up attack. So I can only imagine how many times you can just spam that over and over with Argenti. Unfortunately, I don't have him, so I can't test it on myself, but I imagine that would work pretty well. Plus, a lot of people are saying that they clear it with Argenti. Another one is going to be Don Hang. With the introduction of Sparkle, skill points aren't too much of an issue, and Don Hang just does a bunch of damage. You can kind of brute force your way to getting a lot of points with him. Another DPS, I'm kind of going to group these together. We're going to have Jingyun, Ratio, and Clara pop attacks. Well, I guess we'll put Herta in there as well. These characters are going to absolutely cook. Jingyun, AoEs, follow-up attacks, good to go. Ratio, while only single target, the second enemy is weak to imaginary, so he'll have a bonus there, and he does follow-up attacks, so you can pretty much use him to trigger the big damage at the end. I've seen people clear it as well. Clara, you get hit, you counter. People have been doing a funny strat with the action advance to go absolutely crazy. I've seen like one or two clips of those. And then Herta is just Herta. She goes crazy on this. And then another one is actually Blade. I've been seeing a lot of people run Blade on the second team. They'll use their Herta for the first one, and they use Blade. And Blade cooks. I mean, he does have a follow-up attack if he gets hit a certain amount of times, so he can cook with that as well. Unfortunately for me, I don't have a blade, so I kind of have to just take a look for it. I just dropped my phone on the ground. It's fine, but that kind of scared me. I was like, oh man, am I going to pick it up? It's going to be broken. Regardless, though, let's get into the supports. So for supports, you're going to have, like I said, Sparkle. Another good support is going to be Topaz. You can argue she's a DPS, but she has follow-up attacks with Numby, right? she works, right? Follow attacks is the name of the game on this one, just like that was the name of the game on the last one. Other supports, I'm gonna put debuffs here as well, like Pela. Pela has an AoE support. She gets her ult back, so if you're using the ult follow-up attacks, that could help get a bit more damage off. She lowers defense. Overall, good character. First phase is weak to ice, so she can get a lot of weakness breaks in if you need to. Ting Yun, Argenti probably loves Ting Yun in this because Ting Yun gives some energy. Another ultimate's up and ready to go. Asta is good for speed, right? I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, Asta's not too great," but right, one of them is weak to fire. So if you have your Asta built with break effect, that could help as well. It could help with Himiko get more weakness breaks off, and then she boosts speed. Overall, she's pretty good. Probably not one of the best ones, but I don't think she should be in kind of support because she just offers a lot in this one. Plus, she gives fire damage bonus, so if you run her with Himiko, she'll get even more bonuses. So it's just also just really helpful, mostly just because of Himiko, right? But we'll take that, right? Then of course, Ruan Mei, pretty much the best support in Pure Fiction. If you don't understand why she's there, I recommend reading her kit. She's absolutely broken. It's just overall a great character, especially when paired with Himiko, because easier to weakness breaks equals more follow-up attacks. Then for sustain, we're going to have Luocha and Ho-Ho. Pretty obvious they're the three best sustains, and the rest of the characters don't really offer too much. Ho-Ho gives you attack and energy. Luocha, just massive healing, and I think, unless it's one of Zup, he gives attack. I think it might be his E1. I actually don't have Luocha, unfortunately, so I can't remember his kit completely besides just massive amounts of healings. But he does have a damaging ult, so that could also be used to help get your percent up for your follow-up attacks if you pick the ultimate is a follow-up attack passive. Of course, you could just pick some of the other ones, like the other ones will probably work better for you, but if you need to use flattery, you could probably get away with it. Then we are down to kind of DPSs. That's going to be Kafka, Serval, and Zele. Now, Serval is pretty much like just budget Jing Yun. People argue that she's better sometimes, but she doesn't have a follow-up attack for this. That sucks, but she has lightning AoEs. Second phase is weak to lightning. Pretty self-explanatory. Kafka, same kind of thing, except she has a follow-up attack. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it will activate when someone normal attacks. So if you have your sustain normal attacking, or let's say a support is normal attacking like Ting Yun or Ruan Mei, Kafka with a follow-up attack, that could help as well. She also could do pretty good damage on her ultimate just by herself. And then Zele, Resurgence, go crazy. You can take out a number of enemies. People still use her and get results, so she is up there. And then the last character for kind of support is going to be Hanya. Well, not too great on this one. She still can generate some skill points, plus her ultimate boosting speed can be rather helpful. Not anything too crazy, but if you don't have any other options built, she can still work. And for the rest of the characters, you can use them, but none of them really stand out. Black Swan, I guess, could be kind of, useful, but they don't do follow-up attacks, so it's like, Yanqing does, but it's Yanqing, Guanifin could maybe be useful for the fire phase. I think these are overall the best characters you can use. This is what I've seen most people use through clearing, and then characters like, Hanya, like I said, can work. But overall, these are mostly the characters people are using. I see a lot of people just running like Argenti, Clara, Blade, of course, the famous Himiko and Herta. I recommend building Herta and Himiko because along with Argenti, they seem to be the three that are good in every single Pure Fiction just because. So I recommend building those if you haven't. If you enjoy Pure Fiction and getting the extra currency, let me know in the comments what teams you use. I know a lot of you responded in the initial video where I didn't even 3-star it. Unfortunately, I still have to go back. I'm actually getting up some of my characters. I'm almost done with Herta, and I'm getting up Clara as well. And I'm going to try again. I'm fairly certain I'll be able to 3-star it before it goes away. But let me know what teams you use to clear in the comments. What strategies you've been seeing, what strategy do you use, what passive did you find is the best for it. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe for more Honkai content, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.